Hello and welcome to the Games4all podcast, episode 13. I'm your host Dan Young, and with me as always is my good friend
James Craigie, Little Monkey Spanker.
Okay, fair enough. What? Okay, well anyway,
Don't do this, man.
Yeah. Well, last week's show went out over Ustream. I'd like to say successfully. Probably wasn't really successful. A few people listened anyway, so thanks to those guys. We are planning more live shows. The first of which is the 30th of September, and around 7 o'clock in the evening,
We'll come
GMT
on,
is when we'll be on air. So you can check that out on Ustream, our Ustream channel. You can check that on the website. It'll be embedded into our website, which has gone down for some maintenance. We're launching our new site on November 1st. So we've got a temporary site up. You'll be able to listen to it on there. That's going to be our console lineup special, where we're going to go console by console and talk about the games that we're excited about.
This is the start of the big season.
Start of the big season, basically. So that's our special. Then the next live one, is on the 28th of October. That's going to be the Halloween special.
Scary.
Ooh. Right, so did I just do that? Yeah. I did. Okay, so...
Bit of role reversal there.
Yeah,
with me making the stupid noises.
Exactly. So the Halloween special, we're going to be talking about all kinds of shit. I can't really tell you exactly what we're going to be talking about because we don't know yet. But it's Halloween special, so awesome. Yeah. That'll be going live 28th of October, same time again, I think 7 o'clock. You can check our Facebook, it's got it all on there. But then the big one, it's the end of year, New Year / special type thing. 31st of December at around 7, I think. So we've got 3 shows sort of planned, live shows planned. And they're all going to go on Ustream, and you'll be able to listen to it on the website and via Facebook, I imagine. So hopefully we're putting out the word now, sort of like 3 or 4 weeks in advance, so people know about it.
And they will join us.
Hopefully we'll have more than one listener.
Hoorah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's just start the show as normal.
Okay.
What you been playing?
I have been playing so much, dude.
It's changed, because usually you don't play as much as me, but this time, this week's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, as our listeners from last week will know, I completed Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yep.
And you lent me Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, indeed I did.
Which I then completed over the course of about 2 evenings.
Yeah, it's not a long game, but most people buy those games for the multiplayer aspects more than anything. But yeah,
but seriously, the campaign mode is sweet. It's awesome. I know you were saying you weren't sure which one was better, the first or the second one. Yeah,
I think because I like both of them a lot, but like if I really sit and think about it, I don't know. I could rack my brain for ages.
I'm sort of leaning towards the second one for like technical aspects.
Yeah,
and there are some pretty sweet ass moments in there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, it wouldn't be as good without the first one.
True.
So for me, it is the pair. You need the set.
Yeah, they're pretty much. Yeah.
And they left it open for a sequel, and it's now not going to happen. We're more likely to see Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Infinity Ward's still sort of together.
Yeah, but do they have the rights to the characters? Do they?
I don't know for sure what's going on with that, but they're going to carry. I think Activision pretty much want to carry on the whole Modern Warfare thing. So I'm sure we will see a Modern Warfare 3 at some point. But is it going to be the same? Is it going to be the same? Yeah, who knows? But cool. So you enjoyed that? That's good.
I loved it. I loved it so much.
You've been playing so much, so
Yeah. Then I went out and got the Mario Triple on the Wii.
Yeah.
Mario Kart, which I haven't really played.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers Wii, which I played a bit. And it's cool. Proper old school with some new twists.
Definitely.
And Mario Galaxy 2, which I actually thought was alright.
Yeah. I've played Mario Kart. Mario Kart's sweet. I love Mario Kart.
Well, I'll be playing that next.
Definitely. You need to.
Yeah. What else have I been playing?
I'm not too sure.
I was supposed to have written it down.
Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider. Well, it's not Tomb Raider, is it?
Whatever.
It's Lara Croft and the thing. I thought, okay, looks quite nice for what it is. I mean, it's expensive, but it's an arcade game. But it's a bit sort of generic. It didn't need to be Lara Croft, if you know what I mean.
Right, okay.
It's sort of typical dungeon crawler, puzzles, picking up bits, upgrades, power-ups, going through, fairly bog standard.
It sounds a bit dull.
It's not bad, but it's nothing special.
Okay, fair enough.
It could have been anything. I think the only reason it'll do any good is
because it has the Lara Croft name attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And also this week we've both been playing. I'll let you do it.
Well, I mean, I've been playing so much this week. I did
Yeah,
squeeze in a tiny bit of Left 4 Dead 2, but I spoke about it last week. Still good stuff. But yeah, I've been a bit busy this week. I haven't had much time to play games. But today I did play the trial, because obviously I'm a bit cheapskate. I played the trial of Shank.
Yeah, same
On
here.
the 360. And it's alright. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it exactly. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, you showed me like a trailer for this about 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that sort of put it on my radar. And yeah, I knew it was coming out today, so I downloaded the trial. It's an alright game. I mean, it's basically like a very good looking 2D side scroller, sort of slight hack and slash.
Yeah.
Sort of beat 'em up type DDO. Bit bloody.
Sort of old schooly.
Yeah. And you have like your knife, guns, chainsaw, grenades, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's all very cartoony. It's kind of a cool game, though.
Yeah.
I think it's just out on 360 though, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, it's very sort of easy to play. Like the control scheme. I mean, like it's you push forwards or whatever, and you run up walls and stuff. It's very, very. A lot of it's done for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's quite a big download, so I imagine it's going to be quite a big game, and I can't imagine playing that kind of game for too long.
No. Especially at that price as well. I think it's going to put a lot of people. I mean, it's got the Summer of Arcade, 1,200 points.
It's 1,200 points, and I think it does seem a bit much.
Yeah.
Especially when Scott Pilgrim's now come out for the 360 today, and it's 800 points.
Which I bought.
Which I'm going to mention I've played as well. I played the trial for that. And so I played the trial on the PS3 and on the 360.
Yeah.
And for some reason I found it a bit easier on the 360.
Yeah, it feels a lot more...
The controls seem a lot tighter to me.
Yeah, a lot more solid. I mean, it could just be the fact that we're used to... Cause
yeah, I'm not saying that because I do prefer the 360 controller. That is just how it felt to me.
I mean, the games themselves, exactly the same. There's no discernible difference at all, but I think we're
graphically
just more...
exactly identical. Yeah.
I think we're just more comfortable with the 360
It's possibly what it is, but I was surprised to
yeah,
because I did so much better
yeah,
playing it on the 360 than I did on the PS3.
But if you're a PS3 gamer, you've had it for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
but no, it's still good, and you still do just as good and all that. But
yeah, it's kind of funny because like today, both those games like Shank and Scott Pilgrim came out for the 360 on Xbox Live Arcade, and in some ways they're sort of similar sort of games, slightly retro, old school. Yeah, there's more Scott Pilgrim graphically, but Shank still feels like an old school kind of game.
Definitely.
Which is kind of interesting. They both kind of complement each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we've been playing. I mean, can you think of anything else? I've had no time at all this week to play anything, to be honest.
Been playing Fallout 3.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
I picked that up again just because they've been doing with Gamescom and everything last week, all the Obsidian lot and Bethesda. They've been doing like the rounds of interviews and talking about New Vegas, which is coming out next month. Kind of got me in the Fallout-y mood, so I picked that up again, and it's still a great game.
I so need to play for it because I've got I'd say about halfway through like the main campaign stuff on the disc, right? Because I got Game of the Year edition, and like I had a dodgy. I think because my console died halfway through playing this. Yeah. And then when I went and got a new console, I tried to play it from my hard drive, and my game save was like corrupted or something. Yeah. So I've got no choice but to start it all over again.
I know.
I don't know.
It's so daunting.
I don't know if I've got the heart to do it. I so want to, but there's so much other stuff to play, and I know I'll sink so much time into it. But I really do want to play it. And when New Vegas comes out, I'm going to get it, and I do want to play that as well. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's probably one of those ones that will probably sit on the back burner for a bit.
I don't know. I do want to. I mean, I do want to get through Fallout 3 before hitting New Vegas, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But,
I mean, the good thing is that you're not going to miss out on anything because the story-wise and everything, they're not linked in any way.
Well, that's lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't played Fallout 3, if maybe you didn't like Bethesda's take on it or didn't like the idea of it, Fallout New Vegas has been made by some of the original developers of the Fallout games, so should be cool. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, there are games I'm more excited about coming out this holiday season, let's just say. But like, it is one I will pick up. But I would really like to play through Fallout 3 first. But anyway, well, that concludes everything really as far as what we've been playing. So we're going to take a quick break.
Hey,
when we come back, we're going to talk about some latest gaming news. Hello and welcome back to the Games4all podcast. We're going to talk about some news now.
Awesome.
Last week we had our QuakeCon and Gamescom special, right?
Yeah.
We kind of recorded it halfway through Gamescom, and so we've had some leftover news. There's a couple of stories. Nothing that exciting. All the main stuff was announced by the time we recorded the show last week anyway. But well, there's a few stories. So.
Got some Klingons.
Yeah, fair enough.
That we'll trim off.
Yeah. Okay.
This
well,
week's show.
I'm bringing this up because this is something you mentioned a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Maybe even further back than that, but I remember it sticks in my head that you mentioned it. But Beyond Good and Evil 2,
yes,
there was mention of it at Gamescom, and the CEO of Ubisoft said that this game has to be perfect, right? So I think they're going to put every resource into it, and basically sort of just came out and said, it's still going ahead, and
it better be. I think
we're not going to release this game until it is shit hot.
No,
I think
there wasn't a big rush for it because although critically the first one was amazing, it got such good reviews and everything, but nobody bought it. And then sort of so many years after the event, people have picked it up and said, oh, this is really cool, this is really cool. And it's built up like a big cult following thing. So they really want to please the fans.
Yeah, great. Well.
And they want to make a game that is so perfect that people will buy it first time round.
Cool. All right.
So.
Fingers crossed for that then. The other bit of Gamescom news is that Sims Medieval was announced.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, personally, I've never played The Sims. I couldn't give a shit. You've played The Sims, haven't you?
What, are you outing me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you've played The Sims. What do you think about this? You've read this,
Yeah. Well, I played Sims 2, not Sims 3, but...
Yeah.
There's a little kind of Renaissance fair geek in me that is kind of interested by this.
Yeah.
Sort of thinking, because it's medieval, you can kind of ignore the fact that it's The Sims and make it kind of like a RTS type life thing, what life was like back in the day and everything. So there's okay. I also love knights and castles and swords.
Excellent.
Are you happy now?
I'm chuffed to bits. So excited for it? Not excited? Couldn't care less. I mean, I couldn't care less, but it's just.
I will probably look into it. I'm not saying too excited. What was it announced on? Is it just PC? Or?
I think just PC at the moment. But with Sims 3 coming to console, I think in a month or so, or within the month or so, this could easily come to console too.
Yeah. Well, if it comes to consoles, maybe I'll pay more attention. But at the minute, my PC isn't good enough, so it kind of rules it out from being major into it.
Fair dues.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's Gamescom done and dusted for a year,
Good.
Hopefully. So Valve, I was talking about Left 4 Dead earlier, actually. Well, I mentioned it briefly. I'm sort of playing through Left 4 Dead 2 at the moment. But Valve have unveiled some new DLC that's going to come out on, I think it is sometime in October, in time for Halloween, I imagine.
Awesome.
Some DLC called The Sacrifice, and it works with Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2, so it doesn't matter which copy of the game you've got, you can download this and play it.
Intriguing.
I think it's to do with the original characters from the first game. So even if you've got Left 4 Dead 2, you can play as those characters in this, DLC. I would say expansion, but it's only going to be a little thing. But it kind of combines both games together story-wise. And the big thing about it is that you get to choose what character dies at the end of it. So it's kind of like they're making a big thing of this. So I think this is kind of cool. I haven't bought any DLC for Left 4 Dead personally. and I don't intend to, really. I mean, Left 4 Dead's something I'll pick up, have a bit of fun with, put down. It's not something I want to spend money on. But
there are people there who are.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing
really
was when the first Left 4 Dead came out, everyone was like, "Hey, great, it's Valve doing something really cool. They're using the Counter-Strike engine and all this stuff, and a lot of excitement about it." I was excited. And then they dropped support for it really quickly because they announced Left 4 Dead 2. And I don't know if you remember, but there was like petitions and shit online, people trying to boycott Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want, they've bought this game and they felt that there wasn't enough support after the fact to, luckily Left 4 Dead 3 hasn't been announced, so that's something. But, I think it's kind of cool. They're bringing out plenty of stuff for it, DLC and stuff. It does bring us to a topic later, which is about DLC, but we will mention that at the end of the show. But, yeah, I think it's kind of a cool thing, I like the way it works with either version of the game, like with the first one, the second one, and it kind of, links the two together story-wise.
And for those people who have boycotted Left 4 Dead 2, it creates like a bridging gap, hoping that they'll kind of like tease
possibly,
them
maybe that's what they've done, I don't know.
Into it.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Interesting. Well, yeah, we'll see how that happens. But that's due to come out in October, so like I say, just in time for Halloween, I imagine.
Okay.
So, I'm excited about BioShock Infinite. In case you hadn't noticed, I like BioShock. Lots of other people do. BioShock Infinite, recently announced. Ken Levine, Irrational Games. Good shit, huh? Right, awesome trailer. Ken Levine basically came out and said...
Did he?
He did.
Good on him.
He came out and said, right, not necessarily multiplayer for this game.
No?
No. The original didn't.
No.
BioShock 2 did. And I think now people sort of expect it.
Yeah.
A lot of games are like half-assed and they just like tack on a multiplayer, which is even more half-assed. I never played in the BioShock 2 multiplayer, to be honest, but I think a lot of people may be expecting it now because it's something that's been put in place and with the second one, and now this is, I suppose technically the third BioShock game. It's not called BioShock 3. I think they're probably expecting it. But he's come out and said, don't expect it. He didn't say it's not going to happen. He said not guaranteed. So look into that as much as you will.
In some ways, that could be quite a good thing. I mean,
it'll be good for the campaign.
Yeah, because
it'll be good for the game.
I don't think there are enough like single player games. Everybody wants multiplayer.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's kind of killing development and story and everything within games.
A little bit. I mean, like I was saying, you've played Modern Warfare 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And most people, I'd say at least 70 to 80% of people who go out and buy that, especially buy it day one, are interested in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I know people who've got the game, haven't finished the campaign at all, have probably even touched it, because they're just too busy playing multiplayer.
Whereas I would have loved to have played more of the campaign. I mean, it was
I think that's
good.
why it's so truncated, it's so short, because they've spent so much time on the multiplayer side of things, tweaking it and getting it perfect.
There have been a lot of like games announced and everything now that are purely single player, which I'm fairly happy about. Cause it's not that I don't like multiplayer games. It's not that I won't buy multiplayer games. It's just that it's good to have time and development funneled straight into like a single player, like a good solid story driven game.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much describes the first BioShock, really.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, no, well it hasn't got multiplayer, so I was like, well, that's probably a good thing. There's no resources taken away, like you say. The whole studio, the whole team or whatever can work solidly on that campaign mode and make it as good as possible. And sometimes you just don't need the multiplayer.
No.
They added it in BioShock 2, I think, probably because from day one it was multi-platform.
Yeah. And
people just expect these things, sort of thing. And I think they made such a big deal about having multiplayer because the first one didn't. But I don't think Ken Levine's the sort of person who really cares about multiplayer. He cares more for a decent story.
Yeah, he wants to make a good game.
And I'll back him all the way on that because, I'd rather have a really solid campaign, great story, amazing campaign than, have it a little bit half-assed and have a multiplayer that I probably won't even bother playing.
Yeah.
But, so... Though he hasn't, like I say, he hasn't said definitely no, it's just a sort of, don't expect it kind of thing. Speaking of multiplayer,
Yep.
we recently both partook in the Medal of Honor beta.
Yes.
You on PS3, me on 360.
Yep.
Well, for anyone who has played it or whatever and is interested in what good has come out of it, because we've mentioned it quite a few times on the show, EA have made a statement saying these are the two main things that have come out of that have come out of the beta testing. And the first one, which I completely agree with, is the most asked for thing, is better hit detection.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
The game is now way more precise. Apparently, they've really tweaked it, so it's extremely accurate. This is what they're saying. It may not be true, but they said it was like so accurate you could actually shoot between somebody else's legs and hit somebody. Right, so pretty accurate. Which is definitely something needed because it was just, I'll say, it was a bit all over the place. And a graphics overhaul.
Yeah.
I don't think it looked bad.
No,
there were definitely
there were some texture issues.
A little bit here and there, and
a little bit of sort of collision detection.
Yeah, collision detection kind of blew, and depth of field. Looking at stuff way off in the background, it looked so rough. So there's been a big graphics overhaul. They've changed the hit detection, so it's way more accurate. So there's a few things that they've changed. The main two things they've changed, and I agree wholeheartedly that that's what they needed. So that's good that they're giving us feedback. There's another Medal of Honor story, actually. I don't know if you've read about this. Our great nation is in the news to do with Medal of Honor. Not in a good way, really, to be fair. But the UK Defence Secretary, whose name is Liam Fox, by the way. So, just so we've got someone to blame. Liam Fox basically called for a ban of Medal of Honor because he thinks it's tasteless. This is the Medal of Honor, the current one that's coming out.
Right.
It's basically down to the fact that you can play as Taliban and shoot, American soldiers, to be fair. But parts of the game are set in regions of Afghanistan and stuff that British soldiers are actually based in at the moment. So to him, it's the same as shooting British soldiers. He thinks it's tasteless. He's calling for a ban, which I think is ridiculous. The BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, who also classify some games, has said that they're not going to ban it.
Well, that's good.
It's down to them. I mean, they've not had to ban stuff for such a long time. Games, movies, anything like that.
There's a certain, you need freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
Yeah.
If there will always be morons that will be exactly what these politicians expect them to be.
Yeah.
Complete cunts or whatever.
You dropped the C-bomb.
I'm sorry.
You're the first to ever do that on the show.
Sorry.
I think.
Sorry, my apologies, lady listeners, if you exist.
So the cunt, the Liam Fox is cunt, yeah?
Yeah.
What cunt?
Well, no, I didn't call him a cunt.
I'm calling him a cunt.
I said, politics, controlling games is basically telling people what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
I know there are laws and things, but games are for enjoyment. We're old enough to really sort of do that, to choose what we want to do and choose what we want to play. I
think EA basically, I don't have names unfortunately at the moment, but EA came back and made a statement saying, look, this is ridiculous. He obviously doesn't get it. We're not going to let this get in our way. We're making this game. It's coming out. BBFC aren't going to ban it.
Yeah,
we don't want to ban it.
It's not as if it's promoting terrorism, promoting the Taliban.
They use the example that Modern Warfare 2, you can, if you feel the need to play it, can walk into an airport and pose as a terrorist and slaughter a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. Not particularly nice, but it's not as if it's tasteless and needless. It sets a very important part of the story of explaining one of the key central characters who, if that scene wasn't in there, he would just be like a faceless name.
Yeah, exactly.
Something about.
It's there. So, it's not just mindless violence for the sake of it. There is a reason for it being there in the game, and
and it gives you a genuine reason to hate this guy.
Exactly.
So,
but back to Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
But EA brought that up and said that, you know, you can do that in this game. Why is this guy not pissed at that, you know?
Yeah.
These guys are taking shit personally, and, you know, he thinks it's tasteless. There probably will be people that think it's tasteless, but he's basically just made a huge statement saying he wants this game banned, and he ain't going to get his own way. So
I have a lot of issues and rants about politicians controlling games and everything, especially with stuff like in Australia.
Yeah.
You know, the Southern Australian, whatever his face is, who's like, they've got no 18 class certificate there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of stunted game development across the world, really.
Yeah.
For what can go over there.
Cunts.
Precisely.
Right.
So don't do it. Just keep
I
your
mean,
nose out.
at the end of the day, like, there's no way this game's going to get banned. BBFC have known about this game for such a long time. They've probably seen bits of it. They've probably already. I mean, I think it's already classified as an 18.
I mean, fair enough to like disapprove of it.
But to call for an outright ban, it's just not going to happen.
That's promoting it, really. Because
Yeah,
more people are
yeah,
going to say, like,
yeah.
oh, this game's banned, it must be bad. So they'll pick it up and they'll play it.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, so last bit of news we've got today is all to do with Halo Reach.
All right.
Now, this game doesn't come out till September 14th is the official release date. Very anticipated game. Lots of people really itching to get this game.
Not long to wait, people.
Yeah, well, so much so that it's already leaked online over 2 weeks before it's due to come out.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think it was like over the weekend some point. It leaked onto like BitTorrent sites.
So it's definitely gone gold then.
So it went gold like 2-3 weeks ago, I think.
Ugh.
And by gold, we mean the gold master of the disc has been printed. The game's finished. It's gone to print.
They are mass producing it.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. And obviously someone's got hold of a copy of it. However they managed to do that. I mean, you know, people are sneaky. It could be someone who works in the factory who, you know, pressing this is, you know, possibly leaked a copy or two out to somebody who then ripped it and put it on the internet. And it happens all the time. Games leak early, and this is going to be no exception. It's a huge game. I'm personally not a big Halo fan. I played a bit of the first one. I thought it was okay. You've played more than me.
I played more of the first one. I liked the first one. I even played a bit of the second one, and that kind of ruined it
I
for
mean,
me.
it's a big following. Everyone goes mental over Halo. And I was kind of briefly thinking about getting this and maybe doing a video, but it would be from the perspective of someone that doesn't play Halo, so I don't know how interesting it would be. Anyway,
just get my nephew to come do a video because he loves Halo.
Well, anyway, this game's coming out September 14th, unless you're one of these pirates who have already got it.
In which case, get it now.
Well, you know. No, but Microsoft are putting a lot of resources into tracking down who's fucking playing it early, banning them, and they're also looking into investigating.
Beware of the ban hammer.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's coming early. You know, it comes usually around November, but now it's coming early because of Halo.
Hold on, you kind of got to think though. A majority of the people who play this game are like multiplayer.
Yeah, there are some
Gamers.
ballsy people who will try and play this shit online, which I'm pretty sure is a big no-no. It's going to get it'll get flagged by Microsoft, and now you know.
So if you do get banned, you probably deserved it.
Well, anyway, they're investigating in obviously people who are playing it online and who it shows up on their accounts and things like that. But they're really investigating heavily into how it got leaked in the first place. So
because for Microsoft, it's a big,
exactly.
Big cash cow.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll hear what happens with this. Maybe we won't hear anything. But
I'm leaning on more towards the not hearing
anything. It'll get resolved, and somebody will get a slap on the wrist, but it'll be kept very hush hush. It probably won't.
A couple of people shot.
Yeah,
big cover up.
A few holes in the ground, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's no surprise this leaked early. Games leak at least a week early all the time. I think.
Yeah. I think it's just the fact that this is such like a AAA title and it's released.
So it is a big deal. I mean, you know,
it's like a couple of weeks still, isn't it?
Oh yeah, easily. It's almost 3 weeks early. Yeah. So, some sneaky bugger's got it out on the internet. So, you know, if you are one of these people that downloads games, then you know it's at your own risk, really. But you know, okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some new release,
some new release,
and our topic. Hello and welcome back to the Games4all podcast. We usually talk about the new releases when there are some. There happens to be one this week. Woo! Mafia 2.
Will that get a fanfare?
Not really.
Oh.
You know, it's a lot of people are excited about Mafia 2. I'm not one of them. I don't think you are either, really. We played the demo, and I know it's not a great representation of the game, but personally, I'm not going to go out and get it because I'm pretty much saving my pennies for the games I really want to play. So,
yeah,
we won't be doing any videos or anything talking about it. Really, we talked about the demo. I didn't really get on that. I mean, I played it.
I think I probably have a slightly higher opinion of it than you, but not enough to go out and get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, we could be missing out on something. It could be like the most amazing game of the year.
It could be. I mean, a lot of people are really looking forward to it. They've gone very, very mad over it. So
head out and get it.
Yeah, so that's out this week.
You cheeky bitches.
Okay. Slow down there, Tiger.
Sorry.
What's going on? Topic. We didn't have a topic last week because we had so much news that we actually got through really quickly. But anyway, we dropped the topic last week. This week we're going to reintroduce it, and the topic of this week is: do we pay too much for downloadable content?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes, even though I don't buy much downloadable content.
I buy a lot, and I pay far too much.
I think the main argument I'm trying to make here is like, I think naturally we moan about stuff. I mean, at least the British public, we moan about games costing so much.
Yeah.
The recommended retail price for a game is £50, £49.99, whereas they actually retail at £39.99. So £40 for a game, right? $60 US if you're across the pond, right? And we do moan at £40 for a game. It is a lot of money when you haven't got it, but when you think, I mean, we kind of were brought up in the 16-bit era, and
where the game was released and that was it.
Well, the game came out on a cartridge and it was still £40.
Yeah.
And for £40 nowadays compared to £40 those days, you get a lot more for your £40.
True. I mean, you get like downloadable titles. You can download Sonic the Hedgehog and whatever, and it costs what, a couple of quid?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, there's so much more goes into these games, and really, they're still the same price.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were kids and we were paying £40 for like whatever Sega Mega Drive game, or Genesis if you're across the pond, and now dual layer DVD with all this stuff on it, massive
Blu-ray
game
for PS3.
Yeah, obviously, and your £40 gets you a lot more. We still moan about it because it is still a lot of money. But how do you feel personally, but paying that kind of money for a game and then them saying, here's more shit you can. Here's more money to spend on this game you've already spent loads of money on.
Well,
I mean, you're sort of a DLC whore. That's the name of the episode.
Thanks.
Right?
Yeah.
You are a little bit, because you will buy Mass Effect, for example.
You've
not really even played it. You've got DLC. You're as bad as me. I mean, I've got games sitting there. You just got DLC sitting there. Do you know what I mean?
I'm hoarding the DLC though, because Mass Effect, there's so much coming out, and they're bringing out so much for it. I'm determined to get it all. And once it's kind of slowed down and they're bringing out less, I will play it through and then play.
But the thing is, you could probably spend £100.
Precisely.
You could probably spend a good ton on just playing one fucking game. Do you know what I mean?
I probably have done on Mass Effect.
That's what I mean. Exactly. So the thing is, you say, £40 for a game, and then you include DLC, it gets really pricey. And I think it's okay when it's you've got £40, you've spent it, it's a decent game, you've had a lot of time playing it, and you wanna further that experience. Yeah. Therefore, you pay a little bit, you get a little bit more out of it. That's fine. But when it's DLC for DLC's sake, just to make some money, stuff that probably should have been in the game.
Yeah,
that pisses me off.
Yeah, stuff that they hold back that was already and could all still be there.
Yeah, I do sometimes feel like there's
this huge thing that when you buy DLC, you're just paying for an unlock code.
Yeah,
and
that annoys me.
Yeah, that annoys me. I think if it's going to be stuff, it should be stuff that wasn't even started. It should be developed brand new as soon as the game shipped or whatever.
Yeah.
That I can get behind. You sort of think back in the day, you had expansion packs. They would add all this content and all this thing and just ship it, and you'd buy all that. Whereas now it's kind of dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
And you're paying more for individual bits.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
whereas if they sort of stored it all together into like big packs and put a reasonable price on it, I wouldn't mind so much. But it's the fact that you're paying little bits here and there. I might only like say, oh yeah, this is only like £4 or whatever, or this. You get like 20 DLC packs at £4. That soon adds up.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the thing is, I bought that Gears of War 2 All Fronts pack, whatever it's called. Yeah, that's all the DLC in one pack. Yeah, and it was like 800 points, right? So, you know, just under a tenner or whatever. I don't know how it works out to, but like that I thought was good value, even though there's like a bit of campaign that they cut out, and they specifically cut out really for DLC's intention.
Yeah,
I did feel a little bit like, it wouldn't have been so hard to just fit that on the disc, would it really? You know, It was a bit, but then you got all those maps, it's like 19 maps or some shit, so
yeah,
you know, that expands the multiplayer. I mean, maps aren't so bad. I still think it's getting expensive, because the main argument here is, do we pay too much? And I think yes we do.
You got it for 800 points, yeah?
It was originally 1600.
Precisely.
That's just stupid money.
Now, a lot of DLC, the price stays on there and it's fixed and it doesn't go down. I think a lot of like the larger ones, they will go down over time.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like the whole pricing structure is, some things are just like stupid amount of money.
Well, I say, don't just have to talk about like downloadable content can include like arcade games, because we mentioned earlier, Shank is like a new game. It's 1,200 points. Scott Pilgrim's 800, and to be fair, you know, it makes Scott Pilgrim a lot more appealing. I'd rather go and get I'd rather pay the money for Scott Pilgrim.
I did just pay the money for
exactly.
Scott Pilgrim.
So, but at the end of the day, you know, I think 1,200 points is a lot. I'd rather wait for that to drop.
Yeah.
You know, to 800 points and get it for that.
Yeah.
I think it's too much. And I think all the multiplayer maps they've brought out for like Modern Warfare 2, they're 1,200 points for like 5 maps. And although, you know, you work it out, it's only a few quid a map, but I don't know, it still seems a high price to me, personally.
Yeah. I mean, what they do is they do like the deal of the week thing, don't they?
Occasionally.
Where things will be like half price or 70% off and all that, but you can't rely on that.
You're referring to the Xbox Live thing, rather than, you know,
just
be straight about that.
I think PlayStation have something similar, where they have like sales and stuff off and everything, but no, still, it makes a lot of money. I mean, didn't they Microsoft post? Yeah,
they posted so many billion made through Xbox Live downloads.
People will buy it. I mean, I am a DLC whore, but I tend to sort of buy DLC for specific groups of games.
Yeah.
There are some games I've got where DLC has come out and I haven't got it just because I don't.
Well, so for example, I mean, there's Red Dead Redemption DLC, some of which I'm interested in, some of which I'm not.
Yeah.
But I've not even put my disc in, my Red Dead Redemption disc in, and played it properly yet, so no, that's just not something I'm going to bother with. And Crackdown 2, there's stuff coming out for that soon as well. You know, I mean, the thing is, there are people who are hardcore into, say, Crackdown 2, right?
Yeah.
Who've played it for hours and hours and hours, collected all the orbs, blah, blah, and now they're looking for something else to do in that game. That's fair enough if it gives them enough to do and it's worth the money.
Precisely.
I still think a lot of this stuff's overpriced, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like I say, for maps, multiplayer maps for Modern Warfare 2, they're priced at 1,200 points specifically because there's so many hardcore multiplayer fans of that game out there that they will buy it.
Yeah.
They can make them 1,600 points and people will still buy it. They'll spend that money. They will. I mean, they'll go to the ends of the earth to play more multiplayer to keep it interesting, keep it fresh. And although, you know, they've kind of got these people by the balls, really. I don't think it's... I don't think it's fair, personally, but, you know.
No, I think in conclusion, do we pay much for DLC? Yes, we do. But we still pay it. There are people there who will pay it. It will always do, and that's not going to change anytime soon.
No, absolutely. I agree.
So, if there's DLC that you want enough, and you can justify it enough to yourself,
I think that's the big thing. I think that's the big thing. You know, if you personally think it's worth the money, then great. But I think most of the time, I'll look at packs and stuff that come out, and I think, no, not worth it.
If you don't want the DLC, nobody's forcing you to buy it. If you feel like you're being hard done by because of it, then I feel bad for you. But there are people there who do want that extra content, and they will pay for it, and that's what it's being catered for.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening. That's pretty much concludes our topic. Well done. Thanks for finishing that up.
That's all right.
Tied it up in a little bow and everything. So thank you for listening. Yeah, brilliant. Episode 13 in the can. I don't know where that came from. Is it? It is. Please check out the temporary website. It's our website's under maintenance. It's going to relaunch on the 1st of November with a shit ton of cool new features.
Oh, yes.
Just about everything's going to be embedded into the page. It's just going to look a hell of a lot nicer. We've got a temporary page up anyway, if you wanted to check it out. It's got news about the live shows on it. And you can still download the episodes through the RSS feed button. The website is www.games4allpodcast.com, and that's the number 4. And if you want to email us, so I haven't much in the way of emails, to be fair.
People wanting money off us.
It's a little bit disappointing. podcast@games4allpodcast.com. So please feel free to email us anything you want us to talk about, or you think you should be mentioned on the show, or if you just want to say hello to us. That's the address, podcast@games4allpodcast.com.
You can also follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
If you just type in Games for All Podcast, we come up there and follow us on that. And we're also on Twitter as well at twitter.com/Games4all.
Indeed we are. So we occasionally make tweets here and there about various different things. Also, don't forget those live shows. We're going to keep reminding you and pestering you every week. It's the 30th of September, 28th of October, and 31st of December.
Yeah,
on Ustream, baby.
We hope you can listen, but for any reason that you can't make those dates, we will be recording it.
It will be recorded and then edited down and put out as a normal podcast the day after. So you won't miss out, really, if you're subscribing to the feed. But it's nice to hear shit live sometimes. Because, last week we did the show and, we did it live. But when the podcast went out the next day for download, there's a lot of stuff we cut out, so... You didn't get the full-on experience.
I do say some pretty crazy shit sometimes.
Well, I think we both do. Yeah. So that's some stuff to look forward to. So thanks again for listening and downloading and supporting us. Please feel free to leave us iTunes reviews, and we're also on Podcast Alley. We're ranking in the top 5,000 at the moment. Isn't bad. Some comments and reviews on there would be great. Anywhere really. Brickcast.com, I think we're on. Podcast Pickle, Podcast Directory. There's loads of sites you can listen to us. If you just Google Games4all Podcast, a whole bunch come up. But, we get to get some feedback. I keep saying that, but it doesn't happen. But please, feedback. A review would be great. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.